of the Parks and Rec Committee. Topic of discussion today is the programs the City of Albany Department has to offer for our youth and how the programs can be improved. To my right is, from the committee, is Joyce Love, Owusu Anane, and Kathy Fahey. Also present is Derek Johnson, who is currently in the bathroom. So today we're going to talk about the programs that you currently have right now throughout the City of Albany.
Okay.
So introduce yourself and your title would be great.
Not a problem. My name is Casey Craig. I am the operations manager for the Department of Recreation.
Okay.
And I am Joe Johnson, program coordinator for the Department of Recreation.
Tracy
Okay.
and Joe. Tracy.
Casey.
Casey.
Yep. CASEY.
And I got a couple
Happens all the time.
of flyers.
All right.
For some information.
For the record, Jonathan Jones was asked to come, but he's currently on vacation. And Justin was supposed to come, but he is currently in a training
Yes.
for lifeguarding.
Yes.
For the record, okey doke.
We have another one for,
Okay, so right now, what programs do we currently have in the city?
right now we have Arbor Hill Community Center, we have Hoffman Community Center, we have,
Arbor Hill, Hoffman, okay,
we have Lincoln Park, Pool House,
yep.
and Quail Street Boxing. Those are the facilities that I oversee right now.
You
So wait a minute,
oversee.
you oversee,
Yeah,
and that is Hoffman's, Arbor Hill,
Lincoln Park, Pool
Lincoln
House,
Park.
Fitness Center, and Quail Street Boxing.
and Quail Street Boxing.
Okay, so what's the Livingston Day-Camp? That's,
So all these are, this is a list of all our summer
did you get the
programs
count?
that we,
Okay.
Okay.
These are listed as summer programs.
of summer programs
Okay.
plus, yes. We have Hoffman Day-Camp, which would be a day camp that runs from 8 to 12, Monday through Thursday, from July 8th to August 8th. And it services up to 120 kids per session.
Okay, how about we go down each one right here, right? So you got Hoffman Day Camp,
Yes.
it goes 8 to 12, Monday through Thursday.
Yes.
8 to 6 to 12.
Yes.
What programs are going in there?
What, as far
Like, is it like kickball? Or
Yeah,
what are you doing in there?
In that day camp, we have specific day camp activities. You know, all the classic summer games that horseshoes and can jam.
This is
cup
indoor
stack.
and outdoor.
This is going to be.
This is
it's
indoor
gonna
and
be-
outdoor.
Yeah,
Indoor and outdoor?
it's going to be held mostly outdoor,
Outdoor.
because
Mostly
it's going to
outdoor.
be at the Hoffman Park.
Okay, yep.
And utilizing actually the Plumeri Sports
Right.
complex, so they'll be on the fields, they'll be in the community center, the Plumeri Community Center. But the thing is about the Hoffman Day Camp, actually it provides an opportunity for, even all our day camps actually will provide a parent to actually, who can drop their kid off at 8 o'clock to get breakfast, be there from 8 to 12, and then get lunch if necessary, and then come back from 1 to 5 if they want to participate in our sports camps, which are basketball, baseball, dance,
Okay, I see.
skateboard, softball, soccer.
But that's it. Okay, so that's, okay, I get it now. Because the times are separated.
Yeah.
Right, it's separate here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, how about that, now for Hoffman, is that paid or is that,
That is free.
that's totally free? that
That's
right
totally
there?
free for residents of the city of Albany.
Okay, so Hoffman is totally free.
And if you are a non-resident, I believe we have $50 per person per session.
Okay, so anybody can join. Non-residents pay $50.
Yes, which is,
How do they have to show a license or something?
yes, they will have to at least show proof of that address
Residency.
when their residency, when they sign up online using our RecDesk system.
So these kids, 8 to 12 and then 1 to 5, will
Those-
most parents keep the kids there the whole day?
We have, right now on RecDesk, we have several people who are registered in the day camp and in a specific sports camp throughout the
Okay.
day.
So between 12 and 1,
There's lunch.
It's lunch.
It's lunch, so they can have lunch and stay,
Yeah,
and then they can stay
Yeah,
to
they can stay until.
4:30, okay.
And then actually, potentially, after 5, they can actually go over to the center, to Hoffman Center, and stay till 9 o'clock. 'Cause
Okay,
Wow. You provide, who
that's all
provides
day.
the lunch?
Yeah.
It's the free lunch program, a free breakfast and lunch program that we have.
That's not part of the school, right? That's not part of that school district thing, right? That's your free
That's,
lunch.
is a.
Is it a shared service with the school?
Yeah, they do, I believe they do the same service with the schools.
Okay.
But there's different sites throughout
Okay.
the city of Albany that will do that. But Hoffman became a site. We're not really part of the camp, it's a separate part of the camp, but, well, it's separate from the camp, but they can participate.
Now, when does that program start? Like July 6th after?
That starts July 1st.
So that one starts July 1st, that's a Monday.
What does,
The camp, they
No,
hold the camp.
no, the camp actually
this-
starts.
yeah, on the
The
8th.
camp starts
On
on
the
the 8th, but I thought I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Oh, the
I thought
8th,
you
I'm
meant
sorry,
the
yes.
feeding program
The 8th,
starts
okay, July 8th it starts.
a free breakfast?
starts on the 1st.
Now, how many kids are in the Hoffman Day Camp as of right now?
Right now, I have about 50 kids signed up.
50 kids signed up
For Hoffman's?
Yes,
for Hoffman's. Is there a max that it takes, or you?
120.
So 120, but you've got 50 right now.
Yes.
And the ages,
8 to
6 to 12?
6 to 12. I'm sorry.
grade 6 to?
No, ages 6 to 12.
So there's 70 people that could be still available for that. Do you have an idea of the 50 kids that are there? How many are staying just morning, afternoon? Or would you say that's determined every day?
Right now, it depends on,
Depends on the day. So a kid can get dropped off
Yeah.
8.
but most parents, as far as signed up, I don't have the specific.
Okay.
How many are, I was actually working on that
Okay.
as we speak. If y'all want that information, I can get that.
No, I just wondering, if a kid signs up for 8 o'clock, it doesn't say they have to leave because they signed up. They can stay all day, right?
Well, as long as they're signed up.
As long as they're signed up.
Yes.
Right. Well, the reason I ask is, let's say for argument's sake, you have 120 kids sign up, but 60 can do the morning, 60 can do the afternoon, but you'll play everything by ear.
Yeah, I mean, if they're signed up, all 60 can come.
All day, till 9 o'clock.
This is different, this is free.
Well,
free-
I-
Well, I'm trying to wonder why there aren't more kids, you know?
What?
Trying to wonder why there aren't more kids signed up. There's only 50 kids, and they can take 120. You know what I'm saying?
Is this the same program as last year?
It's a little different. The setup is different.
But that's just one
Because last year they
Right, we'll go
did
to
the
next
sports
one.
in the
Yeah,
morning,
yeah, so-
and then
I mean, all
the
the totals
Richmond in the
probably more than
afternoon. This year we're
1,000.
doing the day camp, like
We'll find out,
enrichment
yeah.
programs in there, because all the activities that we're doing are activities that help build them socially, emotionally, and physically, and cognitively, all those things. But our goals as
Was
department.
there a nominal fee last year, too?
I don't recall. I'm new.
There was a fee last year, right?
I don't. Actually, I don't think so.
Well, that was part of there was,
I believe it was the same, a non-resident fee
okay.
last year. But residents, I believe, were free last year.
Anybody have any questions about the Hoffman? All right,
One quick question I just have, in terms of numbers, you said 120 capacity for the day camp, but then when these all break out into, you're interested in baseball, basketball, et cetera, are those still 120?
No, those are less because of we're using coaches that, the day camp actually, we're using a lot of summer youth employers to be our counselors. We also employ head counselors and a director and assistant director. All of those people most of them are educators, so they work with kids before.
yeah, so for the baseball, you have one person that's assigned
We
to,
have a head coach and assistant coach for each sports camp.
so baseball, basketball, dance, skateboard, softball, soccer, flag football, lacrosse?
Yes.
You have 2 people that are paid?
Actually, basketball, there's 4 positions for basketball because basketball is the only camp that runs from the beginning of the camp, like from July 8th to August 8th. Every other camp besides basketball and dance are camps that run 2 weeks.
Okay.
They're 2-week sessions.
Derek Johnson's here. I already put you on for the record. I just want to let you updated. We're going over Hoffman Camp, the programs, and we're currently going,
Thank you.
So, but every sport has 2 people except for basketball, which there's 4.
Because we're looking at the numbers of different.
Now, are any of the counselors like, are they kids? Are they like certified? Are they
Our basketball.
former college students or
Our
whatever?
basketball coaches, we have Cheyenne Canada, who's a point guard or forward actually for UAlbany.
Okay.
We have Elizabeth Singleton, who was a former, who's down to
Okay.
13 All-Star, played for Davis College, and I also have John Walker, who coaches basketball for Tony Clemens Center for the.
So they're known athletes. They know
But
people
do
throughout.
they have experience dealing with youth?
Yes.
And coaching?
Yes.
Do you guys do a background check on that, or how's that work? Is there like when I used to volunteer, I have to go through virtuous training
I think by
around
state law,
kids.
you have to have a background check
Okay.
for working with kids.
All right, there's the answer.
Yeah.
So we,
Okay. So all the other camps, like soccer, it's
Soccer.
one person trained.
yeah, we have our soccer coaches are internationally experienced coaches. So
Okay.
they coach internationally as well in this area as well. So one was actually a former City School District of Albany.
Okay, let's go to the Livingston Day-Camp. Okay?
Yes.
Is that the same, or
It's
explain
similar.
that?
It's similar to. It will be similar to a Hoffman, except for it's at Livingston
Okay,
Park, and the times are from 9 to 1, given where it's located, and it's a smaller scale as far as numbers that we're looking at. We're taking about 60 kids.
so right now for Livingston, how many do you have?
Right now, I have none.
So the
signed.
max is 60 kids
Yes.
for Livingston?
Yes.
The max is, Derek, just so you know for the record, Hoffman was 120 max, and they've got 50 signed up for right now.
In Livingston, you have none, right now?
Not,
No kids are signed up for that one? Oh.
because this is something that we came up that,
This was just added on.
that,
This
that
was
was
just
added
added
on to us.
Okay.
It was a per request,
So that goes from 9 to 1, so do I assume there's no lunch for that one, or there is a lunch?
we are in
You're
the
working?
progress of working to get breakfast and lunch for those guys over there.
Okay, and that ends at 1, or is there other things later?
That ends at 1
So
for,
that, there's no other baseball or anything like that?
not at
I
Livingston.
mean, not Livingston, but they can go to
But
Hoffman
we
if they
do
choose.
have, if you go down Legends of Arbor Hill,
Well,
that's
okay.
the evening program that's at Arbor Hill Sports Complex,
Mm-hmm.
which is what everyone knows as the new courts and in the softball field, Arbor Hill softball field and all that, the tennis courts over by the firehouse. There, we actually have 3 gentlemen, Patrick Robinson, Decky Lawson, and Jamel Hood.
Okay, hold on, just go too far, I just have a question. Does anybody have any questions about Livingston Day Camp?
Well,
We'll go to the Arbor Hill one after.
I have a question about Livingston
Okay,
Day-Camp.
here you go.
Being that it was just rolled out.
Okay.
What is the thought process as to getting the numbers up, and why would the number be capped at 60 when the need on that side of the town is probably greater than the need on
That's a good
the
question.
other side of town?
Based on how we're running the camp is really regimented, and we're looking at and the number of staff that we're using. We're trying to keep the numbers to like a 10-to-1 ratio. So we're hiring 2 like we did over at Hoffman. A lot of our counselors will be summer youth employees, and we have head counselors, like 3 head counselors who will oversee those summer youth. For the way we have it set up is like 3 sections based on age. So you'll have a group of 10 of say, what we got, 8 to like 6 to 7 year olds, and then 8 to 9 year olds, and then 10 to 12 year olds. There's 3 sections of those of 10 of those children, and we have 2 counselors per each thing, so they can run over.
The question is, to get the numbers up, number one, people can't sign up for something that they don't know about. That's the first thing.
We are in the process of
The second thing is, as a city, being able to meet the need, because if on July 1st or the July
Like
8th, 200 people show up, we're going to be turning away kids. And on the first day of anything, we should expect the highest numbers. And, so I'm glad to see something on the other side of the city. So that means that they heard us when we met a couple of months ago or a month ago, and we brought up the fact that everything was on one side of the town. So I'm happy with that progress, but I just feel that 60, just anticipating 60 people is not a realistic anticipation for an area that has nothing going on over there. So the moment that people hear that it's programming going on and going to be programming, it's going to be in a rush to get there. And then if you hear it's only 60 spots. So what I would like to do, or what I'm hoping to hear, is that we have a thought process, a plan on how we're going to get this information out. Because it has to be fair. If it's only 60 spots, people need to have that, have access to that information, because it could be critical to a family if they know that they live on First, that they have that's the first part of it. And then the second thing is that it looks like kids on that side of town from 1 to 4 aren't going to have anything offered on that side of town. So, the reason why we wanted to have this meeting was to, talk about the community centers and why kids aren't going to the community centers. So, and then, the summer, with the summer coming, we need to have conversation about, how are we going to get kids' attention so that their attention doesn't end up in a problematic way for the city.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to
Follow up.
with Derek. Now, I'm not sure, because I don't know who had the program, but last year there was something in Livingston Park. When Celeste and I come up, maybe she can talk about it, because I'm not sure if you say it wasn't the city, there was somebody there in that park, because I came by there on several occasions.
So I can speak to that. I know they have a bar up there.
All right, but I'm just saying there was some type of program there. I'm not knowing.
That wasn't programmed.
Not city
But
oriented.
I'm not.
That wasn't programming.
Let me say this much. Because I come down that way at least 4 days a week to go to my kid's house. Somebody was running the program there. I don't know.
Do you guys know what she's talking
I
about?
disagree with that.
I'm gonna see if they know what you're talking about.
Some people have gave me the backdrop of what was happening over there. I believe
There was something going on.
there was people over there, but I don't know exactly the specifics of what.
So if you give me a chance, we met with
What are you guys talking about?
Brian.
We're talking about Livingston.
We're talking about Third Ave Park.
No,
Oh, okay.
not Third Ave.
you said something
I'm
else.
talking about Livingston.
That's Third
Livingston on
Ave.
Quail and Livingston. Quail and Livingston.
Third Street
on Livingston.
Right,
and on
Livingston.
the other side
Well,
is Livingston.
Right. Well, most people call it Livingston Park. Am I correct?
Third Street. Third Street Park.
Is it technically Third Street or Livingston?
But
Same
It's the
thing.
same thing.
But I'm just saying, there was some type of program there in the last couple of years.
it was a presence there. It wasn't a program. They didn't do, they had, I'm gonna tell you, I went up there, they had a football, they had one basketball, they had maybe some jump ropes.
You're talking about like during the day or at night?
No,
Yeah,
at
during the
night.
day,
Oh,
no,
at
this
night.
was during the daytime. I'm talking about during the daytime.
But we're talking about two different things now. So,
But we're saying it's not an organized, it wasn't organized
I was just
through the city of
asking-
Albany.
My question is to the Livingston Park. There was programs there, and I seen them during the daytime. I'm over that way 4 to 5 times a day through the week. I'm just saying there was something going on in the park. It might not have been you guys, but there was something going on in the park. So if you got something going on in the park and these people are using the park at the same time, is it okay? Because I know somebody had something there during the daytime. I know that for a fact.
You're saying consistently every day, Monday
Every
through
every
Friday?
day, because a couple of
8
my
to
friends
12,
were
there
taking
was
care-
some...
Yes, not in the evening, it was like from 8 to 1 or something like that. That's what I'm telling you what I know. I don't know about the afternoon, because I didn't go up that way during the afternoon. I'm just
There's a
asking
group
you,
that was doing it, right?
if there's something going on in the park with some other little group that's going on,
Should you be knowing
I mean,
about
that's something we will discuss with a possibility. We can discuss with our team.
Yeah.
How we
okay?
want to handle.
I'm only telling you what I saw of the last
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
that they would need to reach out to the department to let us know that they're planning on using the park specifically, especially if the city is looking to run a
Program
summer camp
there,
program there.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow up on, how many staff do you have at Hoffman during the day?
What do you mean?
From 8 to 12, how many, like, from
for
summer
that?
youth program, yeah?
Summer youth, I'm looking at approximately 36.
So
Summer
36
youth,
are gonna be at Hoffman.
36 at Hoffman plus hired staff that we have, seasonal staff, which would, we have, I have a director, assistant director.
So we're talking about this from the summer youth program with the
Summer
kids.
youth, yeah, that's 30.
There's 36 kids that are gonna be
36
there.
kids at
Hoffman,
Hoffman, and then I'm looking at another,
how many at Livingston?
and I'm looking at another, what was it, 18 at Livingston.
Okay, 36 and 18 kids.
Plus, I will have, I believe, another 12 to use for our Summer Classic Fun program. Well, not 12 total, but I would have approximately 2 or 3 summer youth with the Summer Classic Fun program. And then I will also have another 6, I believe, working with the sports games.
Okay. To follow up on Derek's question, after 1 o'clock, there are no other programs in that area right now. Is that true?
As far as us
Like
running-
basketball, baseball, dance,
As far as us running,
as far as you as a city?
no.
So after 1
not
o'clock,
right there.
in that area, there's no programs. They would have to then go to Hoffman if they wanted to participate in a program later.
No.
I'm asking.
You talking about
Arbor Hill
Livingston
Sports
Day-Camp?
Complex is from 4 to 9.
4 to 9.
Like skateboarding,
Skateboarding is at
Washington Park.
Park, and that's from 1 to 5.
Okay, I'm just asking this, so right now, there's nothing at that park. As of 1 o'clock, all programs in the city are shut down at Livingston. Yep, okay, I'm just asking.
Basically speaking, yes.
Okay, any other questions? We'll go to Arbor Hill.
You just, like, so we.
So right after that, 1 o'clock.
So
We
after
can,
1 o'clock.
like I said, this is something we can bring back to our team. We want to sit down and we can discuss a lot of.
Because I agree with Derek, I think after 1 o'clock, there should be at least something for there, that goes from like 2 to 5, or, because Hoffman, you're offering a lot of programs. Is that what you're saying, Derek? In that area, they're offering a lot of programs,
It's
like split it up.
a plethora of choices for the kids on one side of the town.
Right.
And on another side of the town is you're gonna get this at this time, and either be there or you miss out on it. So
Right.
I think that we need to look at, occupying kids' mind as long as we can during the day.
really.
Because there's gonna be times that we can't provide.
One of the things we talked about at that meeting about what services over the
Here's
summer
Hoffman you got.
is coordinating with
Arbor
the
Hill
school
there.
district
Here's
and
uptown.
so on and so forth. Derek, do you know if the school district has any programming?
Kathy, I would like to just stay focused on the city, because what we keep on doing is we keep on having conversation about other people, and what the issue is that the city is not doing what the community needs from Parks and Recreation. And I look at it and I see I think 3 or 4 positions that weren't on the payroll before this administration, maybe 3 of them. But I counted up, that's $144,000 that is no longer going towards programming and purchase of new equipment and things like that make community centers attractive to kids and make kids want to come in there and engage. I have some pictures that's going to show the state of what you see when you walk in the community centers today. So I have this budget information, and it's a lot of money that goes through Parks and Recreation. And what I know is that opportunities for adults are being created at the expense of our community. And what I mean by at the expense is because we spent $144,000 and we have nothing to show for it. You know, we get a great song and dance when we come to situations like this. But, you know, when you walk into the community centers, it's a totally different reality for the workers. It's a total different reality for the kids. So, you know, I'm a little disappointed that the commissioner is not here. I understand that he's on vacation, but there's some questions that the commissioner should be answering, you know. You know, next year when we do the budget, I will be more versed to be able to ask these questions when we are deciding the budget. But you see stuff like supplies and materials, and when I'm communicating with the people that work in there, there's no supplies and there's no materials. So if you have $28,000 and $30,000, when I walk into these places, I should be seeing brand new stuff. I haven't been in Lincoln Park in 2 years, and I went down there when I took a picture. There's one new machine in there. Our kids deserve to see brand new stuff coming up in the community center because it sends the message to them that someone is thinking of them. And so, like, when you like go through this budget, it's a lot of money that's coming in that's never making it. And I want to know, and it's a simple question: where is the money? Because it's not in the community centers. Our boxing program had 3 kids that could have went to Lake Placid to try out to compete in the Golden Gloves.
No, actually, it's Junior Olympics.
Junior Olympics.
But that was already. But the thing with that was, even with that, they actually didn't have to go to Lake Placid. They ended up moving it to Schenectady.
All I know is this, right? We have the #1 fighter in the nation in Albany, New York, and he doesn't fight out of our gym because his dad has been banned from the gym. But see, that's why I'm saying that the commissioner needs to be sitting here, because this is stuff that's going to factor in. If you got the best fighter in the nation in your community and he is not fighting in that gym, that takes away from that gym. So, you know, and things are supposed to go hand in hand. A free gym, and we have the best fighter in the nation that can't participate in that gym. And these are things that are factoring into, you know, why these places aren't attractable. Because I'm gonna tell you something: if that boy was up in that gym, it'd be a lot of the younger kids will be following him. It would be the same thing that happened when I was an athlete coming up. We followed Todd Holloway, Darian White, Eric Turner, anybody that was getting publicity for playing basketball and doing it the right way. So, you know.
All right. I think what Derek would like to say, this part of this meeting is, can it be improved? I'm sure you guys have a month to go. Bring it back to Jonathan Jones and ask him if there's some programs you can put in the afternoons. All right, is that fair?
But I also, if I could just add to what Kathy was saying, it's no secret, right? We're in a budget deficit as a city, and as much as we would like to say there's money out there, we have to start looking at also different partners, like the school district, when it comes to summer youth program and facilities and locations. So I do agree with Kathy in that sense, but also I do believe that, you know, when you're looking at different locations all throughout the city, if you're looking at data to see where the location is going to be, where we're going to attract the most kids, can you speak a little bit more about that? Like, even, for example, like Livingston Park, I know this is something new, but how many people are you projecting to come out of that Livingston community and use that facility?
I guess, based on what we were trying to do, as far as this is our first year trying to create a program like this, in order to, we figured start small, 60 is small, work with that, and then see how it works for this year. And then if it jumps off properly, we can expand. next year, as far as the summer camp.
So you're shooting for 60 kids?
Yes.
That's what your goal is, to
My
shoot
goal
for
is
60
for
kids?
60 kids, and I would love, and we are trying to promote it and do it really, trying to promote that.
Okay.
as
So
much as possible.
let's say 100 show up. You're gonna have to accommodate them, right? We're not gonna deny kids,
I mean,
or
if you want to look
we're
at
gonna read
it
it, you know?
safety-wise and making sure we have the ability to take care of all 100 kids, that means I would have to find some people who can come alongside and work with those kids. That's what I would have to do. Because I want the kids, first and
Right.
foremost, with everything,
For
is safety.
safety. Yep.
Right, safety first. Yeah, safety first.
Okay.
And just to that point quickly, we did have a leadership meeting this morning with the mayor's office, as we do every other week, and we brought up the fact that we're having this meeting tonight. Brian Shea did say that they're supposed to be rolling out a GIS map that you
Yeah.
guys might know about that is going to go live to the public, and on that map, it shows you everywhere in the city that there will be activities from breakfast through dinner where students can get free lunches, get free breakfast, how to access all this stuff. So he didn't provide us with an exact date on when that was supposed to go live, but I think we can follow up and find out more of that information.
Yeah, we can
and
provide
if I
that
don't know if you
information,
know.
actually.
Yeah.
My operations staff is working on that currently, so.
And I
And
did
it's
see.
very user-friendly compared to, I'm not saying this as a slight in any way, shape, or form. I know the planning department has a very extensive GIS program regarding the city. This one is, a lot more user-friendly as opposed to using terms like active recreation, passive recreation, cultural recreation. It's more lists of, what fields are available, what activities are available at each park. Passive recreation or active recreation could be anything from playing softball to, going to a spray pad, but this is now really providing specific information for users in the city to see what's at these.
So you're saying a big map of the city, and if you look at something, it'll say there's an activity going there?
Yeah, there'll be like highlights on each park and.
And I've taken a look at that. It's a very comprehensive program. When you look at, just to go into a little bit more details, the city of Albany, we have programs that exist. We have a lot of programs. We're program rich in the city of Albany. But what we have to do, and again, talk about the topic of this discussion, is just to, I believe, is just the marketing aspect of it, to let residents and the children know where you can go to find out what program is where and where does it exist. And I believe that once we get this rollout going, it's going to be a game changer. But again, this is just some of the things that we have to deal with now.
Oh, yeah, no, and I agree on the whole marketing aspect of it, but as someone who worked running various summer camps and after-school programs with many years' experience with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Albany, for example, working within the city school district or partnering with this city school district of Albany, a lot of times is, you're trying to recruit your marketing, your grassroots marketing with the students and teachers at those schools that I worked with. But a lot of times what happens is, okay, parents see that end of the month coming, school's letting out, and I'm not saying that's where a lot of, students will then all of a sudden start signing up, but then you see that this is just from years of experience, so.
Well, I disagree, and it's like, I feel like almost like this is a waste of time, and I'm saddened that my community wasn't here, but I'm glad that they didn't have to come here and hear this, because we have numbers that represent the city budget, and the city budget has been going on, for the last few years, nothing is matriculating into these programming and things like that. Like when the administration takes over, they have a starting point and they can build from there. And Kathy, I don't disagree that we shouldn't talk about partnerships with the school district, right? But I feel like we have to do what we're supposed to do first. And you can't run a city where every time someone comes and talks to Parks and Recreation, all you hear to the employees, we don't have any money. But you know what?
Derek, I hear what you're saying, but I agree that it really is a conversation we probably should be directed to the commissioner, and
Right.
he's not here. So maybe we can have
Talk about that again.
another
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, but I do want to hear the public.
I think it's important that he's here.
Let's go over to Arbor Hill Camp.
Conversations about the budget.
But what I'm saying is that, like,
Yeah, I think
for
that's
so
a-
long, it's a practice that is going on, and like I said, we can't afford to lose any more kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I work in the school district, and I see the ill effects of a lot of things, you know, like my afternoon today, I've only worked half a day. If you had to deal with what I had to deal with, you will feel the rage that's up in me, and it's hard for me to sit here and just be quiet when people that just moved to our town are making decisions for, you know, how things are supposed to go. Like, you know, you don't know how important it is to have people in that playground from, you know, as early as possible to late as possible on Livingston, 3rd Street Park, whatever you want to call it, because, you know, if you go up there and walk around, like I extended an invitation for all council people to, let's walk through the community centers. Nobody wants to do that.
Councilperson from Livingston.
And, you know,
Jamel and I does a,
no,
we
but
do,
I'm not, like, we're not, I'm saying as a group, like,
I mean, I think that's great. I'm happy to do that.
but I mean, you know, I said that like a month and a half ago, and, you know, I went and I took the pictures of, because you know, when you come in here and you have a conversation, it's like an attack, but it's not an attack.
Let's plan to, let's
Let's
find a date.
let's plan the committee. Yeah, let's plan the Parks and
I got the
Recreation.
pictures right here.
Yeah, let's just go, I just want to know about the Arbor Hill camp.
Can you,
Can you talk about the Arbor Hill camp?
Arbor Hill,
The evening
Legend,
camp?
Legend of Arbor Hill. That's a program that we had, like I said, I have Patrick Robinson, Becky Lawson, and Jamel Hood, who bring kids over. There's basketball going on, there's softball, there's kickball, those different things, and they use those platforms to engage the kids in sports and just keeping them busy.
So you have three adults, and then how many summer youth are going to be there?
Summer youth, that's actually past the summer youth working hours. 'Cause
Oh, okay,
summer youth
okay,
can't
all
work
right. So
past
just
that.
Jamel, Decky, and,
Yes,
so those are three?
and Patrick Robinson.
But that's an evening program?
That's an evening program. How many people do you expect are signed up for that right now?
That is actually a drop-in.
That's just, there
That's
is
a
no?
drop-in
Okay.
situation, and once they come in, we will sign them up and put them on.
Okay,
in
so Decky, Jamel, and Pat, they're all paid by the city?
Yes,
And then you're just having random people show up?
they will have.
To participate.
And then usually I understand this is a program that they've been doing for
Oh, okay.
quite some time. So this year.
But they've been doing it not as a city organization,
exactly.
they've just been doing it.
They've been doing
So now the city has took them in
Is it basketball?
as an official.
They use basketball, they softball, they do kickball, dodgeball, all types of activities that they do.
So there could be 100, 200 people there.
That is correct.
and most likely that's what's gonna happen.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying,
Oh,
that's gonna happen.
it will,
A
it will,
nice day, it's gonna be crowded.
yeah.
But they will be.
And so my question is, you
Yeah,
only
and
have,
They can
And
manage
that's
that,
why,
you know,
they can, okay.
Yeah.
yes,
3 people can manage 100?
Oh, yeah.
They can, I know.
Patrick is
respect
here,
that they
Patrick
have.
can speak for himself if you
Yes,
want
they
to, you
have.
want to sign up?
exactly.
He's here.
He got them.
So they can handle 100 people, is what you're saying? All right, yeah. All righty. All right, now, is there any other questions about this?
I'm also.
Now, you said there you have the Quail Street,
Closely boxing,
Quail Street Boxing.
that's
When is that open from?
open every day from 12:30 to 9.
So 12:39. Anybody can go in there.
Well, actually,
Well, is there age?
from like 1 to 3 is an adult time.
1 to 3 is adult time.
3 to 6 we have the youth boxing, and then from 6 to 9.
Are there any summer youth employees in that place?
Right now, that's not the plan.
So how many staff are at the boxing?
Right now we have, let's see, any given day,
1 or 2? And
Tom
then,
Marshall, Kendall Wilkins, Corey Landy, I appreciate it.
I just whatever, 5 people on this one.
6.
So from 1 to 3 is adult time, and then the kids, the younger kids can come in after?
From 3 to.
Anybody can come in? They have to fill out forms?
Yeah,
'cause
they
of
have to
boxing,
fill,
and
they
then
have to fill out forms and all of that to be done.
They have to have a parent fill out the form too?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the age for that?
I believe the age is, I believe we have some boxers like 9 and up.
It's 7. The boxing
7.
program technically starts at 7 years
yeah.
old.
But a lot of the kids that we
Yeah,
have now
yeah.
are really 9 and up. And we have a good crew right now.
How many kids do you expect between 3 and 6? 10, 20, 10? I don't know.
Where you at?
I'm asking how many kids they're
No, where you at?
expecting.
Where you at?
Oh, the Quail Street, we're just talking about
Quail
Quail Street
Street,
now.
okay.
They given, I believe the boxing gym, we have about 12 consistent
12 consistent kids
12
coming there?
consistent kids, but there are kids who come in,
Okay.
you know.
Any other questions about the Quail Street boxing? All right. No? Kathy, any questions over there? I just want to talk about the ball fields. Are you aware of the ball fields? What fields do you have currently where the city maintains versus, like Westland Hills? Westland Hills,
Westland Hills.
because this came up with an email I sent you guys about the charge.
So currently, we would have Arbor Hill softball field, Bleecker Stadium.
So Arbor Hill is run by the city.
Is city.
Bleeker's run by the city.
Bleeker's run by the city. Bleecker has softball field and baseball field. American Legion Field, which is down over near Hoffman.
Is that across from the FBI?
Yep. And Ridgefield has 2 softball fields located there as well,
And those are all managed by the city?
by the city, correct?
Are there any, what fields do we have that aren't run by the city or managed?
So there's the Little League field at Westland Hills. There's
Westland Hills.
the Little League fields that are down by Woodlawn Park, for example.
Okay.
And then there's another Little League set of fields over by Crank Park.
Okay.
So just essentially, I think what the chairman's trying to ask is that why is the Babe Ruth being charged to operate? Like, why is the city not running or just kind of taking care of that Babe Ruth part?
That's something I'd have to get back to you
Just so you know,
on.
they
I
did
don't know.
cancel that program.
Okay.
They did, they reconsidered the fact
Yeah,
that they already made an agreement.
So they would take care of all the maintenance of those fields. The only thing that I know that happens on the operations standpoint would be collaborating with DGS to go and make sure the water's turned on, turned off at the end of the season, and things of that nature.
Could you elaborate a little bit on what does that cancel mean? So they no longer have a contract with the city for the maintenance, or how is?
Yeah,
that
they are not maintained by city at all.
Okay.
Those Little League fields, yes.
Yeah, like Westland Hills Crank,
Yeah,
National.
yeah.
So I guess my question is, why did
The email, I
the
didn't
Babe
ask
Ruth receive a letter
They
saying
were going
that
to.
they're gonna have to pay to use Legion Field?
So that's good.
Right, it's good, yeah.
They would have to, I would assume, rent out the field is what it is.
But why would they have to do that when there hasn't been a charge in the past?
Have they used American Legion Field in the past?
Yes, because they had a baseball field, they had a Babe Ruth, and then when the city sold the Babe Ruth field to St. Rose, it was I want to say, was it a verbal agreement, Jack?
I think it was just verbal.
It was a verbal agreement because you're not going to displace kids. So that's how they ended up at the Legion field. Now, here it is, 3 years, 4 years later, they get a letter or they get an email saying that now that they have to pay. How did we come to that conclusion?
I don't know if they can answer. Are you aware of what that email?
No, I'm not aware of that
All right,
email.
so they
but
may not know
more
where of it.
importantly,
What
I
happened
will,
was Babe Ruth, there was a league over in American Legion. They already scheduled games. They basically the city said to them, we're gonna charge you $25 per hour to use the field.
Okay.
Another fee, I forget what it was. And they were like, wait, we're a 501c organization. We don't have the money. And within the last few days, they said they waived it or canceled the fee.
Yeah, cancel the fee.
Okay.
But they were, the city had an intent of charging them for that fee, which I think they decided not to. I think they felt it was just best. But no, going forward, I think they may have to. But that's something we're going to have to discuss. I don't think they should, but that's next year's issue for right now. So you didn't know about that? So
No,
that's just something
I
to-
was not aware of that
Yeah.
at all. Now, I can tell you presently, while I am the operations manager for the department, my immediate supervisor is currently handling facility
Right.
rentals, so anything like that would have gone to him. Now, I do work with him on the facility
Who's
rental
that? Who's
process. Justin Atlas,
Yeah, yeah,
the
Justin,
deputy
yeah,
commissioner. That being said, I did take a note of this and just to find out more so I can,
Okay,
better understand the current situation.
okay. Are there any questions about any other parks and the staffing? Because where are all the other kids working? The staff-wise, because other parks, like,
So, obviously, a number of...
I mean, yeah, there's like, what, 15 parks? You've got kids?
I would be in charge, so like Swinburne Rink.
Swinburne
the
Park.
roller rink
Yep.
that's there, or the ice rink turns into a roller skating rink Thursday through Sundays. Additionally, any of the seasonal staff I've been hiring predominantly is at Lincoln Field or any of our 3 pools.
Do you have a breakdown of every park and how many staff members are at that, summer youth, I should say?
Summer youth-wise?
Yeah, like there's, how many summer youth do you have right now? 900 or 1,000?
Presently, I do not have any. Now, I have put in for a few on the operations side.
No, not you personally, how many kids are in the summer youth program right now?
Oh, I wouldn't know that offhand,
Oh.
unfortunately.
That's a,
I thought they said 1,200.
I
Is that what it
believe
is?
what
About 12?
what I heard, it was a 1,200,
Okay,
you know, that's what I heard, but as far as that, that's kind of
so
separate
you
from
guys
the
can't
park.
answer any of those questions when it comes to how many
That-
per place and,
I mean, I can tell you how many that I requested as far as, you know,
Okay.
what, as our program.
Justin would have that information.
That would be more Commissioner Jones.
Because
just
Commissioner
he oversees
Jones
youth
is,
and-
Okay, so you have
he
to
does
break down.
youth and workforce.
Okay,
So Paul should be able to answer that question.
Yeah, Paul comes.
okay. All right. I just, great answer, how many kids are going throughout the program. All right, anybody else have any questions, Kathy? Yep.
I wanted to ask about the upkeep of the fields. I know that some of the parks have been overgrown. Are you folks doing the cutting? I know there has been some discussion between you and DGS on
Yes,
these
yes,
issues.
yes,
Good
that's an ongoing discussion
For
that's ever
years.
ongoing. In addition to Commissioner Jones and Deputy Commissioner Justin Atlas, have been working with DGS and APD in addition to planning on a Parks Task Force. Presently, that's still work that's being done, but more importantly, you know, the Department of Recreation is in charge of athletic fields, maintaining athletic fields, maintaining park and playground facilities, as opposed to, say, I'm trying to think of a good example of a park, Whitehall Park, for example. You know, my operations team would take care of things around the playground facilities and athletic facilities. DGS would be responsible for the mowing of the parks. I can tell you that a number of calls have been placed to the Department of Recreation about the status of the mowing of parks, but that's one of those things that is difficult to clarify. I hate to say the who does what mentality, but that's one of those things that this Parks Task Force has been trying to filter out some of these things, because what happens is if you were a resident, you go into Swinburne Park and you see that the basketball court is down, you know, you would call recreation. You go into Washington Park and see that it's not mowed. Do you think to call DGS or do you think to call the recreation department? Because while it is the recreation department, it's oftenly mistitled the Parks and Recreation Department. And that's where DGS has its specific team of parks maintenance staff members. And it's an ongoing confusion, and
So
it's
the
very
difficult.
difficult.
task force, how often are you meeting? Is it DGS and
The-
you folks?
DGS and Recreation Planning has been brought in various times. APD, for example, as well, doing assessments of parks, you know, testing for safety and things of that nature. So, you know, how high are the trees? Are they covering the lights type of situation? So then the APD can hand over their assessment, which they did a few months back, to the Department of General Services for that tree light example. What needs to be trimmed back type of thing. Presently, it has been moved more to the commissioner and deputy commissioner level. So myself as operations manager, I've somewhat taken a step back, and
How
I
often
have
are you
been
folks meeting on these issues?
that was a bi-weekly meeting, the last I attended, which was back in April. But however, that it has been an ongoing discussion and meeting, and once again, information is filtered to me on the operations standpoint to take a look at, you know, what my group, for example, would be responsible for taking care of.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Did we ever consider hiring like 20-year-olds, like 10, 20-year-old kids and just give them a mower and just go around, works for your department and do it? That
That
would make sense.
No, it would make dollars and cents, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
But more
I understand.
importantly, you're also issuing equipment to 20-year-olds, to minors.
Well, 20-year-old, I don't
Yeah,
consider.
no, I understand.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
But
18,
then,
17,
yeah, so, you know, from what I understand, and I can speak to this in terms of my recruitment for maintenance staff, whether it's field maintenance or we do have like a mobile maintenance team that I have a schedule where they go and hit various parks throughout the day, and they have a checklist of items that they're supposed to be taking care of. You know, finding a seasonal employee that's reliable for that.
Okay.
You know, for example, you know, lifeguards, I did not have too much difficulty in terms of recruitment because of not only the hours of the day, which is 11 to 7, as opposed to someone 7 to 3, and also just the type of work. While it's, you know, I'd love to be able to, you know, hire as many, you know, individuals as possible to handle that. That's also some of the different departmental items of it. I know there's seasonal parks maintenance positions with Department of General Services as well. So it's that whole, you know, it's parks and recreation, but it's Department of Recreation.
Or on that golf course, is that being maintained by the kids? I know there's kids that work there. Is that DGS or Parks and Rec?
That is DGS.
Okay.
But see how clear that answer was? You could answer that, but when people call from the inner city and say they have a complaint about Lincoln Park, regardless if they call it DGS or Parks and Rec, someone should be able to point them to, because how it is they used to have a crew for Lincoln Park that maintained that whole area.
Yeah, and I believe DGS does have a small crew up near the Sunshine School building.
Yes.
There's a garage up there, and there is a crew up there as well. And I agree with you. I wish that answer was easy up and down the line, because, you know, while I find myself often in these situations where I have to, you know, we'll see what we can do, but it's a DGS, and I hate having to say items like that.
It didn't used to be this confusing.
I know.
And that's the piece that's problematic. You know, what was being offered in the summer, it didn't used to be that confusing. You wouldn't need an atlas to know where a program was at. You know, so that's the part that's problematic for me, because we had another committee meeting and we're still not touching the issues and the meat and potatoes that's going to be important in this next month that's coming up, the next 2 months coming up.
Yeah, well, summer is coming quick, and that's one of the. I understand where you're coming from.
Derek, I'm going to ask the speakers to come up, and then we're going to do your presentation.
Sure.
Is that all right? You guys all, Derek, you have any questions? More questions? I'm going to have the speakers come up, and then Derek's going to do his little presentation. So I'm going to call Ashley Chapel. You want to come up? Yeah. Say a few words?
Sit next to these guys?
Yeah. You can sit down, state your name.
So my name's Ashley Chapel, resident of Albany, longtime resident, my whole entire life, employed by the Albany City School District. I came today because, as some of you know, we lost one of our basketball players last week. And what that did was bring up a lot of regret. And it was right before that, as I was one of her coaches and a teacher. So, of course, you think, where did we go wrong? What did we do? What could we have done? And prior to that, I saw a video on Facebook from the principal down in New Jersey. He has a Lights Out program. And I text my friends, we're in a group chat, and I said, in my lifetime, I want to do that in Albany, in my lifetime. Once Ayanna was killed, I realized we don't have my lifetime to figure that out. I think it's great. Parks and Rec has some things going on, but we got to be smarter. Why have a program from 8 to 12 and then 1 to 5 that gives the impression that you can only go to one and you have to sign up for the other? Why not just make it 8 to 5? I ran a camp last year, last minute, came up with it in April. I got 60 kids by myself, boots to the ground. I think I sent all you guys emails asking for money. Some of you donated, thank you. Those who didn't, it's all good. We still made it happen. But I had 60 on Monday. By Wednesday, I was up to 68 kids. And of course, I'm going to say you can come. Absolutely, because it was a great thing. We did it from 8 to 5, and I provided them breakfast and lunch and a snack without the summer program because we were too late for that. And so we can do more, and we have to do more. You guys, even this board, you guys had tons of questions about Hoffman, but we got to Livingston and Arbor Hill and Quayle Street, and they just dwindled and dwindled. But we have to have opportunities because we will continue to lose kids like Ayanna Hunter. If you go to teen night is supposed to be for teens, right? There are 21, 25, and 28-year-olds still going because that's what we hold on to.
Right.
I used to go to teen night when I was in high school, and I would have continued if I still played ball. But we have to do more in Albany. We need more programming. You guys are cool with, just the three of these guys, Patrick, Decky, and Hood, running a program, but why don't they have support knowing that they've done this program last year? Why aren't, you got summer youth program, we beg other companies to take our kids and give them experience. Let Decky and them show how it's done, right? Why not repurpose those kids? You said you got 4 basketball coaches for the Hoffman. Move basketball over to Arbor Hill. Because if they love basketball, they're gonna go, right? If you have 60 positions at Livingston, what if non-residents take advantage? Do our residents lose out? Right? So these are things that we have to be very cognizant of. Arbor Hill is very similar to Plumeri, not as nice. The Arbor Hill sports complex is not as nice, but it is there. Why not have scheduled programming for there all day long? And we can't say we don't have the staff, because what you really need is the adult to supervise the teenagers who will then teach the kids. You have all of my athletes who need jobs, right? Come after, be very targeted and purposeful. And again, I'm speaking to stuff that I've already done. So I'm not asking you to do something I didn't do myself. That's exactly what I did last year. I got the coaches on board. They brought their players. I had to babysit the players too. But it worked out where the kids loved the kids that they worked. They loved the teenagers, and they learned a new sport, or they were exposed to a new sport. Again, I'm not knocking you out for what I do, because you do something, but we got to do more. Again, her death woke me up big time, but we got to collaborate a little bit more. And I appreciate what you said, Kathy. Same thing with what Derek was saying. But as the superintendent told me as well, we can't be the hub for everything. We got our enrichment programs. We already got 8 to 5. I think they do 8 to 12 is enrichment, and then 1 to 4 is their sports and stuff. We're already doing that. But the city has to offer more and collaborate in terms of, hey, Ms. Chappell, actually you did email me. Ms. Chappell, who can we get? But you gotta be boots to the ground. I had to knock on doors last year. Hey, I got a free program, free transportation, free food, 8 to 5. I will pick your kid up this school and I will drop them off at this school. Those are the kind of conversations we have to have. And it can't be email. It can't be, I do the work for you. If we really want this to happen, we got to have meetings. Like, this should be our meeting right here. All right, how are we going to get this done? What'd you do? Derek, you've been here the longest. You know more people. Patrick, what you got, what you need. And not give half of our city the bare minimum. Because that's what you're doing with Livingston, Quayle Street, and Arbor Hill, is giving them the bare minimum, and your nuts and bolts is all into the Livingston Day-Camp. And even that should be better. It should just be straight 8 to 5, because we know what's best for kids. We know they need to be active, they know that they need to be fed, and we know that they need to be someplace positive around other kids and other adults to really have success. And they'll go home by 6 because they're going to be tired. You got to wear these kids out. So I'm here to hopefully come back again to talk about more community centers. We're losing the YMCA.
Right.
I don't know if y'all saw the vote, but I can't believe that got over my head, that we would be losing the YMCA. Where are we going?
Can you,
T-Nice done.
can you your program, Boots? Your program that you started. Boots to the ground, your program.
No, it was Albany Sports Camp.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
you doing that this
I
year?
said I put boots to the ground.
Oh,
I was like, wait, boots
I like
to the ground?
I like the name. I think it should be
Are
named.
you
Yeah.
doing that again this year?
That's what I'm asking.
No, because the
Oh, yeah,
parents
so
want
that-
you to plan a year in advance. And I just got a new job with the district. I'm now a supervisor. Last
was
year
asking
I
the same
had to tell the
question.
world. But my hope is for next year for us to do an all-day sports camp, because if you guys don't know, our sports teams are struggling in Albany. And it's because we're not getting them at the grassroots level. So my goal is to entice my phys ed teachers to come and teach more skills and stuff, introduce kids into these variety of sports, and hopefully funnel them through. But I learned last year, a lot of at least our people who got money, they do not like last minute camps. I got a lot of slack for that, because they already signed their kids up for other camps. And of course, we got, over 10,000 kids in Albany. I could care less about the 60, but I have to now in the position that I'm in. I gotta care about all of them. So.
All right, thank you.
I just want to ask a question more so about Huffman Park. Is it a well-equipped facility? That's the reason why most of the summer camps are held there? Can you make a comparison between Huffman Park facility and Livingston or any other park?
Hoffman Park facility
What does it provide?
encompasses Plumeri Sports Complex, which is the St. Rose athletic fields. So we run everything through that.
Yeah, not only that, there's also areas for program space in terms of classrooms. So an issue would be at Livingston, what happens when it rains?
Yeah.
You know, you
Gotcha.
can't, and it's a city park. You know, while we can have children, and I hate to say it this way, enclosed in a fenced area in a field, say at Hoffman Park, you know, that's where, you know, having not only the numbers in terms of staff members to ensure that children are safe at, say, a park like Livingston, where it is right in the community, in the open. And that's, you know, that's where, that would come from.
City gave away.
Facilities.
It's facilities, yeah, the issue.
All right, thank you. I just want to make a suggestion that Ashley brought up, like the flyer does say, it is kind of tough to read. If you could just, you know what I mean, adjust it better. Maybe do Hoffman Park and then the programs underneath it so people know, I don't know.
Livingston didn't have Livingston
It's just
Day.
kind of misleading. What she said, if it said 8 to 4 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Whatever,
if
just
you
go
could just
back.
market it 8 to 4, you would get people. But I know,
Or 8
again,
to
I'm not a
5.
parent, but when you see 8 to 12, it's like, I ain't got time to.
Yeah,
show
the first
that.
thing I do is I look at this, I go 8 to 12, I think it's done.
Yeah, so you gotta alleviate that gap in between. That's
Yep.
what you're asking.
And,
you're
and
right.
say that
Right.
When
lunch,
you first
say
look
it's
at this,
lunch
you think
at
it's
12
over.
to 1.
Right, I think there's another crew coming in in the afternoon,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
just-
saying? So alleviate that
Somehow
gap
just
in between.
move it.
Yeah.
And if you can make these signups accessible, not just on the internet, you need paper copies.
Go door to door.
And if you could hit up a few doors, that'd be great. Especially, Livingston needs love. So you're gonna have to, maybe if you don't wanna go door to door, at least hit up the parks. Find kids outside, get into the schools, and try to entice kids to come. But I know talking to the parents really helped, because I didn't put the responsibility on the kid. It was more like, hey, you know, this is who I am, wear your badge and all that, and give them the paper. And if they can sign it right then and there, that's better. Technology is awesome. I love it myself, but everyone has to have the access and the opportunity, and have an equitable opportunity to participate in what's being offered.
Actually, to follow up, do you guys put these in the schools?
I have
Do you get permission to put these in the schools and the teacher puts them in the kids' backpacks?
I have emailed
Yeah, it
those
says,
Like-
it says it right here.
Yeah,
Bottom.
it's
It's not
actually-
school sponsored, so they have the school
Yeah.
disclaimer on it, so they can, like, I can.
Do I take this and give it to the
I can do-
schools in your
yes,
thing?
Yes, you can.
That's what I ask if they do that.
And I would suggest you do that. An email again is great,
Yeah.
but it's that personal connection that people will go the extra
I'm gonna
mile.
leave us, let's-
So,
But another thing
Thanks, Ashley.
is we have
No.
City Hall.
I'm gonna call up Celeste Knight
Okay.
to speak.
City Hall on
Thanks,
Road
Ashley.
would be a great opportunity to get some meaningful information.
The Honorable Celeste Knight will be coming up here.
I agree.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mayor. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Celeste Knight. I'm the 5th Ward Leader for the City of Albany. The park we were just talking about, Livingston Park, is in my ward. I came to talk because I don't believe that out of the $3 million Park and Rec's budget, I don't think that the resources are being distributed equitably. Every park or facility in my district, which would be Bleecker Stadium, the boxing, Livingston Park, Oak Street Park, and Swinburne, every one of the facilities don't have the amenities that the other parks or facilities have. First, I want to thank Derek for even bringing up my district. I appreciate it. So, One, I want to ask the question if I can. What is Classic Summer Fun?
Classic Summer Fun is a program where we will go to a different park for a week. We will bring like
green box.
the green box and have things in the box, and we will have people there to try to engage the people who come into the park with some type of fun activities.
Because when we were
I'm
younger, there was a
familiar
box
with the
at
green
every
box.
Yeah.
school, every park. When we were younger, they had a box every park.
So there is nothing offered at Oak Street Park, which is in my district. There's no
We're good.
programs
There's no
offered at Swinburne Park, and no programs offered at Bleecker.
How many speakers do we have?
Can you say that
Patrick
again?
Banks.
Because it's like we're not listening to what she's saying.
There's no programming at Oak Street Park, no programming at Swinburne Park, no programming at Bleecker.
But you do have staff there, right, or am I wrong? Do you have summer youth there?
I have no, there may be some summer youth there, but. All
right, let's
that
go
would
over
be on
Oak
the
Street. So
not
Oak
at Oak
Street,
Street.
there is no summer staff at Oak Street,
No, it
okay?
would be at Bleecker Stadium.
In Swinburne?
Not at Swinburne, just at Bleecker.
Wait a second, you're telling me you don't have any summer youth program at Swimmer?
No.
I'm shocked.
I'm speaking on the operations standpoint.
Okay.
Not on programming.
There's no program at Swinburne.
Okay, no, forget about program. Do you have employees that work there?
That will be at the roller skating rink.
Yeah, that would,
So they're at the
There will
rollers?
be
or-
at the what?
Roller skating.
So Swinburne, from,
I'm just shocked, just so you know, for the record.
Yeah,
They don't have
I'm
any
shocked
staff?
and appalled, but we can keep moving.
Okay, because that's one of the biggest parks in Albany.
Yes,
Sorry, okay.
okay.
And then we go to Bleecker. I know there is summer youth there, right?
but yes, that is more on the
And-
operations standpoint.
Okay, but I know you have staff that works
Yeah,
there
yeah,
floating
there's,
around.
yeah, there are staff there in terms of the operations staff members that are responsible for taking care of the park and the stadium.
But we'll have
And the
to ask,
fields.
we'll have to ask Jonathan how many actually summer youth are going to be there helping them, right?
Helping them do what?
Like I said, I don't know, I'm just asking.
Helping them in the wading pool, because
I
that's
don't know.
all that's there.
I don't know, I'm just saying.
No, not program-wise, in terms of.
No, I'm not talking program, I'm talking about the summer youth program.
The summer youth program, there was a request for 2 staff members to be at Bleecker Stadium to help the operational
Okay, yeah,
staff
fine.
that are there in terms of field maintenance.
Yeah, whatever their kids
and
do, whatever they
garbage
want to do, yeah,
cleanup,
clean up.
Used
Okay,
to
so
be
you got
years
summer youth
past-
program, I'm sorry to
I was
interrupt
just
you.
gonna say, in years past, there used to be a 4-H program there that
Oh,
was
at
run
Bleecker?
by Cooperative Extension.
Yeah, quote unquote.
It hasn't been there the last couple of years.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so just for clarity, I'm not interested in summer youth program that goes pick up trash. I'm talking about programming.
We're talking
for
about
the
actually
children.
programs for kids, yes.
Programs
Right.
for the children and residents that live there.
Right.
Not summer youth program that pick up trash. Okay.
No, I was talking about 2 different programs. How many kids are working there versus you saying there's no programs?
Yeah,
There's
there's
absolutely
no
no
programs.
programs.
No programs,
Okay.
okay. So, moving right along, there's no programming at Arbor Hill Community Center. There's no feeding program at Arbor Hill Community Center.
Okay, can I just clarify, Arbor Hill Community Center is totally owned by the city now? Because remember, it was
No.
city, school district, it was half, where
Still, from
There's
what
are we
I-
at right now?
From what I understand, that's still in the works.
It's still
So-
under discussion.
It couldn't be totally owned by the city because the kids can't get into certain parts of the building for night.
This has been going on for years.
Yeah, so
This
that's,
Arbor Hill's been-
so like that's the type of conversation that I wanted to have today is why aren't we reconsidering,
I just don't know why.
with the building change, the usage of the building changing, it changed the accessibility for the community center.
I think we need a meeting between us, Jonathan Jones, and a
I
school
do-
district member, because we gotta solve this long
I do
time
believe
history
there
with
are
this,
some
with this building.
programs that are going in for swimming. They have access to the pool and stuff during the summer.
Okay.
It's just
I was
confusing.
I was just up there talking to Melissa on Thursday and Friday. And it was clear cut that they can't have access to the pool,
Well,
because
the kids don't know programs.
I believe the
All
city,
these school
the
district
pool,
programs,
the lifeguard is
what I mean?
hired
Takes
by
over
the school
programs, yeah.
district now. They eliminated the budget
Yeah, right.
for lifeguards in the city budget.
There was an agreement between the city and the city school district of Albany and the city where they would be working with the city school district for a portion of the year, doing the swim instruction programs, and then starting June 1st, they returned to work for the city for the summer season to be available for the 3 pools within the
But in
city.
the meantime, the pool is not accessible to the community in Arbor Hill.
Unless it's during June, July, right? That's when the city takes over, right? Is that what you said?
Presently, it's, from what I understand, having,
June 1st to
having
August.
people, having people in the building during the school day
Right.
at Arbor Hill, just because of that combination between the ownership, who is the school district, who is the city of Albany, who's in charge of that facility, so.
Okay. All right, Ms. Knight, you want, let her?
Yeah, just for
Sorry.
clarity's sake, because obviously, I mean, it just appears to me that people don't actually know who we're talking about. The cost of living in the 5th Ward is 8.3% above the national average. 72% of the people rent there and are below poverty. However, we're the only facilities that are charged a fee for programming. You gotta pay to use the Arbor Hill pool. You gotta pay to skate at Swinburne Park. Hoffman, everything there is free. So you're telling me badminton, lacrosse, skateboard, and none of this costs anything, but it costs for the poor little black and tan children to swim at Arbor Hill, for them to skate at Swinburne. This is a problem for me.
Okay, so I'm going to address her. The Arbor Hill pool, she says there's a fee. Is
Yes,
that go
it
to,
is a fee.
does that go to the school district or does that go to the city of Albany?
I'm
That was my next
not
question.
aware of a
Oh,
fee.
It's
for-
right, well, on your website, there
Like
is
the confusion
a
comes in.
entrance fee.
There's an entrance fee?
There is a entrance fee
There's always interest free for skate.
for Arbor Hill Community
No, I'm talking about Arbor Hill
Center.
Community Pool.
There is no entrance fee for Lincoln Park. There is no entrance fee for Matta Christie. There is no entrance fee for any of the, or you don't have to pay to go to any of the spray pads, but you gotta pay to go to Arbor Hill. That's an issue. We're gonna charge the poorest people in the city to swim.
All right, we'll look into that.
No,
Celeste.
I'm gonna
Please do.
definitely look into that. I was not aware of that, or I.
Well, it's on the
need to-
website.
Celeste, is that on the city?
Yes, it is.
Recreation
Yes, it
there?
is. It's
Okay.
on their website. Absolutely. Okay. So, I want to go to Livingston Park if we can.
Yep.
Because I just recently became aware right now that there was going to be programming. One, I want to know, where do you come up with the projection of 60 kids when there's no
yeah.
previous programming
I know.
to base it on? There are, and obviously again, we're not looking at the demographics of the location of this park. There's more than 60 kids that live in the housing complex across the street from the park. Let's suppose all 60 of them came out that one day. That means the entire neighborhood is disenfranchised because it's a cap at 60 and you got more than 60 kids that live directly across the street from the park. That's a problem. We have such a great need in our district. 25% of our district is children under the age of 18. And we have the least programming in this area. We got 5 facilities, and combined, they don't even add up to half of the services that's offered at Hoffman Parks. And for those who said, oh, well, if they want to do it, they can go to Hoffman Park. Who? These are poor people. These are people who are disenfranchised, underserved. Who's paying for them to get to Hoffman Park? Children, mind you. We're talking about traveling across town, okay? There's no feeding program. You're talking about underserved families who now have to incorporate in their budget of their household 2 meals, 2 extra meals a day for every child in their household because they're not in school. But we got a feeding program at Hoffman's, but not one in the poorest district in the city of Albany. That's a
All right,
problem.
Jerry, I just wanted to finish up because we should give 3 minutes of
Oh,
speaking.
yeah,
I'm
well,
just
if
giving you
I
time.
had 3 minutes worth of, if it was only 3 minutes of problems in the 5th,
I
I would
know,
shut
I
up.
just letting you know.
But I would ask anybody who has to speak, would you please yield to me to finish?
Okay, I just want to let you know.
Because we got problems.
But we did have feeding programs in those parks.
Okay, let her finish her presentation then.
Okay, again, going back to the same demographics of how's this information being disseminated? They're talking about, just like you mentioned, the GIS map program. You have to have the internet, you have to have the ability to access this information. If this information is not in people's hands, they don't have the wherewithal. We are talking about, again, you have to know the demographic you're dealing with. Everybody does not have the luxury of having an iPhone, having internet at home. I know this is many things that we all take for granted, but not in the Fifth Ward. So we need to figure out how you're going to distribute that, you know.
Okay.
Okay, I'm almost done. Oh, you mentioned that the reason that a lot of the programs are over at Hoffman Park is because they're fenced in. Yeah, well, guess what? Livingston Avenue Park asked for a fence 7 years ago, and we still don't have one. You gave us a piece of fence, but with a $3 million budget, God forbid we should have a fence where our children can be safe.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I think it's one of the few, aside from Oak Street Park, that is not a fenced-in park in the city of Albany. On your website and in the budget, it said that the 2019 goals were to renovate the playground in West Hill. What playground is being renovated in West Hill? Because that was a goal for Parks and Rec. What playground is being renovated? Because we halfway through the year, we should at least know which one it is.
From what I heard, I believe they're looking to renovate Livingston Park coming up.
What renovations are they going to do?
I don't have those plans,
Okay.
but I know that was
Who would have it?
Jonathan.
Okay.
So when you say coming up, this year, or, because from my understanding.
Well, it should be this year.
The projection was Elizabeth,
Yeah, Elizabeth Street.
Elizabeth.
Well, they said 3 of them. I was just, you know me, I'm being selfish.
Well, I'm just
We're
looking
talking
at the
about the 5th.
5-year plan, and the 5-year plan, you know,
Okay.
stated Elizabeth, which we are waiting for completion.
Okay. Another one of your goals said to provide, the goal of the Parks and Recreation was to provide physical activity and opportunities for everyone in the city of Albany, 7 days a week. That is not happening in the Fifth Ward. Thank you that's enough. Try to work on some of those things. And thank you very much, and know that my anger comes from the fact that I represent people who are underserved, overlooked,
Do you have a question for him?
and with a $3 million budget, it's just sickening that the poorest district in the city of Albany does not have any resources available to our children, but let anything go wrong, and then it's, oh, we want to talk about the Fifth Ward. Everybody craps on the Fifth Ward when it comes to, violence, kids just standing on the street corners. Well, they don't have anything to do. Let's give them something to do. Obviously, we got $3 million. Let's.
Do you have a question for her?
Yeah, I don't have a question, but just a suggestion, just if you could send all that information in an email and just CC the common council member in the mayor's office to kind of, and also the commissioner, so we
Why
can
don't
have
you
some.
send her that tape?
It's on
Why
the
don't you
website.
send her that tape? It's on their website. Everything I'm talking about is what they say they already do.
Okay.
Tell her to look at work, or how about show up at a meeting? I'm not sending anybody anything.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Celeste.
No.
That's all right. Patrick Robinson.
Are they gonna do Elizabeth Street this year? That's all I wanna know. If they gonna do Elizabeth Street this year.
You said Elizabeth Street?
Elizabeth Street Park.
As in, I'm thinking the
This
street.
is the
I'm thinking the street.
5-year plan, and he's
If they gonna do Elizabeth, Jonathan Jones had a meeting with me over here last year. He told me that they gonna do Elizabeth Street Park this year. They did the little playground stuff, but the basketball court is terrible. It's a bad look all around.
Can you write that on your record? Elizabeth
They
Street?
said they was gonna do it. Are they gonna do it or not? That's all I wanna know.
We will email Jonathan Jones tonight or tomorrow. When is he back from vacation?
Because I could tell you what he's
I
going
think,
to say right now.
I believe he's back on the 17th.
Well, can somebody tell me, have they signed a contract to do the construction work?
We'll look into that. Thank you.
It's simple, yo. It only take 2 weeks, yo.
He wrote it. He wrote it down. He wrote it down.
That's all it takes is 2 weeks, yo. That's all it takes. We could have got somebody to do it.
Mr.
We could
Tucker,
have got somebody in the community, we could have came together and got somebody to do it. Don't lie to us, yo. We talking about kids, yo. Don't lie to us, yo. We talking about the children. That's all. Well, we want to do something for the kids, yo. That's it, yo. Come on with it, man. Come on, man. Let's come on with this bullshit, yo. Yo, DJ, I'll talk to you, yo.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, Patrick.
Yeah, how everybody doing? This was a last minute meeting for me. I got here a little late, and I didn't even know you guys were even having a budget meeting, but I'm here anyway.
Well, it's not a budget meeting.
I mean,
It's just about the programs,
I mean, like some of the frustration, like with Mr. Tucker.
Yep.
I definitely understand where you're coming from because they've been saying that for years that they was gonna do that park over. I just want to say, I think part of what's going on here is the lack of communication between all the different agencies. Because I just sat here and let me elaborate a little bit with the Arbor Hill Community Center. I was told like a couple years ago that pool, why during the months while school is in June, that pool wasn't available to the general public until July 1st until like August 31st. That's what I was told. You know what I'm saying? So during like the building, it's too many cooks in the kitchen. It's too many, like, you know what I'm saying? We're sitting here. Who's doing the feeding programs? Is it the school district? Is it the city? Is it the Parks and Recreation? That's the problem.
I agree.
Like it's too much going on, and I agree with with DJ saying here, like it got to be something clear cut, so that you know when there's an issue and there's a problem,
You know where to go.
got to call such and such in, and that's how it get resolved.
Not getting the runaround.
It's too much run around about. Well, you call this one, and if this one, you got to call this one. It's just too much.
Right.
Another thing with Arbor Hill, with the softball park, Arbor Hill Field was just redone. We have a brand new scoreboard, state-of-the-art scoreboard for 3 years. It's not working. When we plan on getting this working?
And that's done by the city, right?
Yes, that would be done by the
Because
city.
we've been hearing for the last couple of years that was gonna be functional, operational, and it's 3 years later, and
Now, I have a stupid question. When you say functional, is it like the bulbs are out, or just totally not even?
No, it's not working, because we
Nothing at
were
all.
told from the old scoreboard that it's like an electrical problem,
All right.
so nobody came in to address that, so.
So it could be electrical, but shouldn't it works?
It's a brand new scoreboard, yeah, it's a brand new scoreboard, it just been
Could be a
sitting,
little,
it's never been
a
used.
little click
It's never
somewhere.
worked at all?
It never worked
Never
at all.
worked at all?
Not one day.
Not one day.
Okay, this is the
It's
first
a-
I've heard about it in terms,
All right,
but
yeah,
I'm
I
also
mean-
relatively new to the department, so I can follow up and see.
Can I just jump in right there?
Yes, sir.
Like, my frustration is that I live and breathe this stuff, right? And then when I'm talking to people that just came on board, they're giving me the roundabout answer and what they think to be. And it's like, if we listen to the young lady, she says she got this information from our website. So if why would someone need to send any of us information that's on our website?
Right.
It just doesn't, we knee jerk. People make noise and then we put something on paper to satisfy them without really doing proper planning. And I just say, if this meeting went on at 10 o'clock, I wouldn't have a problem with it. That's how important it is. And guess what? I'm saddened of Ayana. I talked to her dad this morning, last night. And let me say this. I'm still hurting from Elijah cancer last year. As the incident that I was dealing with at work this afternoon, I told the young man, I don't even have the ability to be able to handle another tragedy. And so, and I'm equipped to deal with a lot of stuff. So imagine how our kids are feeling. So, I just think it's I had another meeting too, but this is important. And, I'm disappointed that the commissioner is there. He's entitled to a vacation. I don't question that part. But we need to have a real conversation to get real results, because if not, you're gonna hear some marching and some yelling and screaming as soon as something happens.
We'll organize one in July and get back to you.
But
Just to get an update on how the programs are going.
Because
in mid-July.
Yes. Like I said, we gotta, I'm not sitting here pointing the finger at any one person or any one agency, but we all gotta get together. We gotta get our funds together, because listen, I'm a lifelong resident of Albany, but I work in North Colony, and I see things get done. I see money get done for things, and it's like that. It's not even an issue. And then I come home to my community to deal with this, and it's like, it's sad. It is really sad. We just got to get it together. Hopefully you guys will get it together in this room and we get some things going. We get some money. You know, we need funding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know, I'm good. Hopefully we can get it together. You know what I mean? Because we need it. Because our kids dependent on it, so we need it. Thank you guys. Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else that would like to speak? That's all I have on the list. Would you like to say something?
I need something done. That's all I can say, but I don't see nothing done.
Okay, thank you.
The school district to our community, I don't see nothing done. I hear nothing about uptown, but what about downtown? What about downtown? I'm from downtown. I hear nothing about my south end of any district, of teen center or something from my kids, my grandkids. I'm a grandma. So I don't see nothing done. I walk the street every day. I don't drive by. I walk every day to see this community rock from the bottom to the top for our black kids. Everybody can sit there. I'm here to I volunteer. Give me a center. Pay for that. Tell the state to pay for that. Give it to me. I could run 50, 60, 70, 80 kids by myself and still feed them. Not off of your system, on mine. Kids, our black kids are suffering. I don't care about nobody else's kids, but black kids is suffering. If you don't have a home to go to get the love, you definitely can come into a community of my love, my house, to get the love. The parenting, I feel bad for them because the people that was before me, destroyed it for me and for others that's here. My black people. I'm speaking about black people. Parents need to really actually get up because like I told them, and that place right there, I'm going to be the head nigga in charge. I'm not lying when it comes down to our black people. We need to realize that. Ain't nobody go home crying that night because they don't care, because their belly is full. I work a bullshit job, but I still give 1% of my pay to the street vendors. And the law is not there to help us, but I remember the law was there to protect me. Where's the law at now when you see bums by the community of the school that I graduated to go to Hackett? I seen that when I was coming up on Pearl Street when it was, what it was called, Pearl Brook, the liquor store and the cleaners. I've seen it every day of my life and I see nothing get done for us. And I tell people, you're not ready for me. Because when I'm coming streets. I didn't lose my life to drugs into the streets. Because I had a teen center. I had a role model, like Father Shine. I respect the man, but Shine was love. He showed me love as a 2-year-old, coming up as a child when he got here. I don't see nothing. I never hung out with young kids my age. I hung out with older people that gave me wisdom. For the person that I am today, your education can't help me live in my community. Love. I was poor. I'm from the projects. I'm glad I'm from the projects. Because people laughed at me when I went to school. But guess what? I didn't commit suicide. I came to be a better person. You didn't make me, I made myself. So you're not ready for me to speak. Because I get tired of it. I get tired of seeing nothing done. Young kids. How are kids going to stop selling drugs when the police don't protect us? I told him this morning, clean that up. 6 o'clock in the morning, I go to work. I just walk in the hood. I like walking in the hood. Just to give people respect. Like, you can be better. There's jobs out there for you, bro. People need to waken up and realize that. I'm tired. I go in the drug area. I love going in the drug area. I'm sorry, sir. I give you my time. I don't want to write my name. I'm giving you what I feel in the earth. Love. Look at the street. Look at Pearl Street. You give us some bullshit tar to fix our street. When you can go and, like he said, we work outside in their neighborhood. It's beautiful. When I come back in my neighborhood, I feel like shit because it's not being done. You know what y'all can do is just blame what? Crime rate on our young generation because y'all keep it there for them? a good parent.
Thank you.
Yes, and I want to see something done into the South End. Stop saying money, 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 money. Get a building for free and I'll come and run it. And take care of the drug dealers off the street and make it a beautiful building.
You be our last speaker? No.
How you doing? My name is Sam Bunch.
Thanks, Sam.
I volunteer my time at the boxing gym on 12th Street.
Yep.
And I give a lot of hours in there. I mean, and we have kids from the street, basically, what the young lady just speaking on that, don't have anything. And I wind up spending my time there, and sometimes I get there and I hear this favorite word that they use on me. You're just a volunteer. But we need more volunteers because we have a lot of kids in our community that need to be served. Not only do I volunteer my time there, I also spend my money on those kids to go on every trip that they need to go on. I come out of my pocket and I make sure these kids go to the Nationals. I make sure they go to make sure they went to Lake Placid. Now I'm making sure that these kids have an opportunity to go to Wisconsin. Because they come in the gym every day, I yell and scream at them every day, trying to get them to do the right thing. I can't see me not paying for them to go on a trip because the city said they can't afford it. These kids come in the gym every single day. This can't happen.
I got a question for you. In the past, how did that work for kids that were fighting out of the gym when it was time for them to go to the Nationals or go to the Lake Placid? How did that work, financially before this administration?
Well, I wasn't a part of the gym at that time. I was basically doing my own. I had a gym over in Short, but from what I heard, it was being paid for through the city, through the administration that was there. When I came over there the last 4 or 5 years, I basically been paying for the kids to go on where they need to go.
Can you check that out? Okay. See if
So
you're saying it was funded by the city in some
Yes.
budget
It's a
line,
city
somewhere.
program.
Okay. No, the reason I asked, I'm asking to look and to see if that was in the line somewhere, whatever.
So, and this is just your opinion.
Yes.
Your opinion. Do you think if Ty's son was a part of the Quail Street boxing program, would it be more young kids there?
Well, there's a lot of young kids there, period. You know what I mean?
But I'm talking about.
But even if he was a part of it, it wouldn't make a difference. Because, like I said, the gym is full right now. No, the gym is full right now. So to say that this person or that person, if they was there, would make a difference. No,
So I'm just saying,
we have a female, a girl, Jada Robinson. She has won the Nationals 3 or 4 times also.
So I'm just thinking about coming up, your best friend.
Yes.
Wherever he went to play, that's where everybody was following him. And so I see, and I think I see it because I saw them go and start their own gym up, and I saw, I go past it all the time, so I see the numbers down there. I see young and old. I see kids from my school. And so, I asked that question because, we always want
we always want the best, for all the kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what I'm saying is, what they're doing is basically, they have their own private, way of doing things, other than, like the city, they have certain restrictions. And like I say, I have spoken with Joe, about being open on Saturdays, because these kids are in competition, These other gyms, they have an opportunity to be open on a Saturday, so they're gonna kind of get some of the kids because they're able to go there on Saturday.
Right now, we don't have Saturday hours?
We don't do Saturdays only by request.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's something recently we worked out.
Okay.
And if they have a fight going on, him and Tony, they were like, okay, can we get Saturday and we'll work it out.
Did it used to be open on Saturdays?
Yes.
When did that end?
about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically, it wasn't that the city basically opened it, but it was open on Saturday.
It was open but not staffed by a city rep.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
no staff.
Well, not so much staff, but it was open to where the staff, I guess, was not getting paid.
They're volunteer.
The volunteer,
Okay.
yeah. But that's something I get thrown at me all the time. Oh, you just volunteer. Like, that's taken lightly, like, you just volunteer.
If I may interject, as far as the volunteer, Sam does do a lot as far as volunteer, but it's also, we look at it, and that's not to belittle his role, because he is one of the only few volunteers that's there every day, and that's enough respect for that. But when you look at some things, sometimes you want to make sure that, you know, if he was staff, there's certain things you want staff to do. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing as far as I'm concerned when I talk to him about certain things. That's it. But other than that, because he has a relationship with everybody in the gym, he's kind of more than a volunteer in a sense, because he has a relationship with people.
Jim, if you go, like when I came in there, the one who was working with the kids was the bunch. So, you know, like that's a whole different conversation that I'm trying to touch on. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's sad that we have something that one of the most successful programs in the city is the boxing program. Mm-hmm. And when you walk up in there, it's nothing new in there either. Mm-hmm. And I got numbers right here that say 200, 300,000. And I just counted up $140,000 in salaries. And I want you to have a job, you know that. Mm-hmm. You know, but we can't say market rate on one end, but we're not giving market rate. Right. And that's what I'm saying as far as the city, and I want to go on record, I hope it's still recording, because if the city is doing what they're supposed to be doing, as a person who wears a dual hat, it's real easy to have that conversation with the school district. And you know me personally, you know I don't play when it comes to my community. I don't play when it comes to what's right. And lastly, the last thing that I'm gonna say is that the parks have always, if you go back to Corning, I was told that Corning said, let them hang in the parks because at least we'll know where they're at, right? Mm-hmm. And they always had adults that were paid to be in those parks that regulated what was going on. So, you know, when you take away from the adults, then you take it away from the security of a parent who, you know, my mom's, when I lived on First Street, I had the ability to walk to the Livingston Ave Boys Club. I had the ability to be able to walk around to 3rd Street Park, where it was many family members that were there playing basketball. You know, mm-hmm. The other thing is like summer leagues. Like they took all the summer leagues away. So kids are learning how to play the game. That's, you know, when Ashley is saying our sports is down, you got to run and jump and be able to shoot is just one part of it. Mm-hmm. You know, kids aren't learning the intricate parts of the game. So our kids are kicking butt from 6 years old to about 12. And then the kid in Clifton Park just magically catches up with them. And, you know, I hate to keep talking about myself, but we lost 7 games from 8th grade to 12th grade. 7 games. That's how much ahead Albany was to everyone else. And a lot of it had to do with is that we just followed. I mimicked the people who were doing. I was watching Fred Daniels. I was watching Mikey Russell. I was watching Joe Quigley. I was watching Ron Carrington. I was watching Phil Blanchard. I was watching Todd Holloway, Darian White. I was watching Sam Bunch. But that's not happening nowadays because you don't have a men's league to go and watch. And we had several men's leagues throughout the Albany. But if you constantly keep taking away from bodies of people, it's not going to get better. So I'm hoping moving forward that we can address some of the things that they talked about. I'm hoping that moving forward, when I walk in those community centers, I'm not gonna see an empty community center. Because, you know, that picture that I saw, you saw when I walked in there, I worked at that building every day for 3 years. There's nothing in there. And I know that the mayor wouldn't bring someone there to say, hey, this is what we offer. And, you know, the fact that this is what we're offering is a smack in the face to taxpayers. It's a smack in the face to the future, our youth. And it's a smack in the face to that single parent that has to work 2 jobs just to be able to make her meet her bills and whatnot, and not have a comfortable, a conscious plan for her kid. You know, we need to step up, and if not the whole year, definitely these summer months.
Good.
Thank you.
Do you have a bunch of, thank you, Sam. You have a bunch of questions that you're asked, Commissioner Joe, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully we can address those.
No,
How many questions? You probably have about 10 questions to ask Jonathan.
yeah,
10,
so
15. Miss Knight had about 10.
yeah.
Just for the fifth ward.
Yeah, regarding
She's got at least 10 or 10 to fifth ward.
yeah, not
But if you could send those to Jonathan Jones, and
yes,
hopefully we can
definitely.
address them, or we can have them in a month to see if those
Definitely.
issues were addressed somehow.
And I will.
I think the big one is Elizabeth. Can we find out about Elizabeth? Street
Yes,
Park
yes, I
right
know
there?
they're in the process of construction with that over there, and I know that there had been.
Oh, so they are in the process.
Yeah.
They're just going through the bid process right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, for the courts.
Summer is here.
I know. I mean, that's another. Yeah. All right. So, no other questions. I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Is that all right with you, Michelle? Thank you all.